General quarters, everybody. Here we go. Game 2. This is BONKS versus STARD. STARD needs to find a way to get back in. This is a best of 3. So they need to win if they want a chance to advance to tomorrow in through the winner's bracket. There's still a possibility later. So BONKS comes to this particular battle with a Montana, a Kremlin, a Des Moines, double Marseille, a Moskva, a Nevsky, Gearing, and Kleber. So they are looking more cruiser heavy.
A very cruiser heavy lineup from BONKS here on Tiers of the Cruisers, Zaf.
Cruisers. That's right. That's right.
Opposing them from the south, STARD coming with a little more of a traditional lineup, I would wager, bringing Ohio, Yamato, Des Moines, Venezia, and Stalingrad for their cruisers, rounding things out with 4 destroyers, Daring Shima, Vampire Deuce, and Yu Yang.
Is that a radar Yu Yang?
Let's have a peek. It is not. That is a Smoke Yu Yang, Captain Benevolence Yu Yang back here, paired with Nito Claus's Des Moines.
Yeah, so we might see a little bit of Death Nail action going on there between those two ships.
We might indeed. It's interesting. This is now the second game in a row we've seen BONKS kind of run the double Marseille strategy. I'll be curious to see if it's as effective here.
Now, it's worth noting that BONKS also has their own Death Nail setting up going towards Charlie Cap with the Des Moines. And, of course, that Nevsky could always choose to duck in if necessary.
True.
Nascimento.
Go ahead.
Nascimento coming into B now with his Vamp Deuce. Interesting that he's already making his turn out, and he's looking like he's ready to run if he gets radared.
Well, and we're going to see something today. This game's Ath, we didn't see yesterday the games we saw in Tears of the Desert, and that is the Northern Spawn team is not even going to make an attempt to contest the middle of the board.
That's right.
So one of the things that this cruiser-heavy lineup pushes BONKS into, and they do come into the game with over 100,000 health advantage, is that they're going to spend at least the early part of the game down on points because they're not going to be able to control the board early.
True. Now, we saw that yesterday. We saw the decisive play at B. However, because of the, I guess you could say, lack of ships on either flank, we saw like the whole game fall apart, and that was the YOLO K game. So it'd be interesting to see if that happens again. Will STARD be able to rotate assets to the flanks quickly enough now?
To me, the biggest question that I have if I'm STARD is, how do I start to whittle down this health advantage? I am upside down a significant number. How do I start breaking into that, right?
Well, I think part of that is what you're seeing right now with Battleship Nagato being obviously spotted and focused and possibly going to take a torp out the butt. Oh, just barely turns in time.
We know X100 has had good work with his Shimakaze torpedoes. We watched it yesterday on Sea of Fortune. He was able to, I think, eventually outduel a Gearing at long range with torpedoes. He literally ended up in a torpedo duel with a Gearing and managed to win.
Right.
So we saw STARD pick up the C cap early. Greifer's radar coming in, pushing Beldoran off the cap. That's going to allow Todd Howards to work back in and flip it until they're able to get Beldoran or, who's the Yang down here, that's Captain Benevolent, in there to contest.
Now, it's worth noting, Beldoran had his Hydro going. He was able to detect those Gearing torps, which are, notoriously low detect. And that enabled him to not take a torpedo at that pivotal moment.
Todd Howard's already well within the range of Nito's Des Moines radar, but Nito holding that right now, not wanting to not feeling the need for it.
Yep, as torpedoes come in for the Death Nail. Now, interesting, D. Squarius Des Moines, he peeled away from that Death Snail.
Yep. And now
scratching my head on that one.
Now he's turned back in facing B. Zath. If I'm honest, I kind of like this play because look at Honey Badger's Kremlin position. I think they're going to push him into this cap over here. Do you remember where we saw Beans Des Moines yesterday on Tears of the Desert? Right here, snuggled up to this island. I think it's exactly what they're about to do with Honey Badger.
So it was a previous King of the Sea, maybe the last one. I distinctively remember a team shoving a Kremlin into that middle island. And that's exactly what Honey Badger's doing right now. And you're right. I mean, that's a very powerful play. Because how do you get the Kremlin out?
It's a very strong position. That's going to be Star D's challenge, right? Honey Badger has decided, hey, this is my cap. You want it, you come through me. And so now Star's got to figure out how they're going to dislodge him.
And real quick, this detected him, so they know now that the Kremlin is heading into B.
Yep.
So Star D is going to have to find a way to deal with that.
What's impressive to me, Zath, is in this position, they have so few ships that are going to have shells on him, he might even be able to cap. And it looks like that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
As he takes a good salvo at Lord Lawrence Venezia.
Yeah, they got some resets on him, but Lord Lawrence going to try to get over that island.
They're going to try to reset him again, but the shells are not going to arrive in time. The Kremlin is going to cap B just before those shells arrive.
Okay, just like that, Bonks has all 3 caps.
6 minutes into the game, Bonks with total control of the board here on Tears of the Desert, which was Star D's map pick. So now it's a question of how do they intend to get back into this game? Keep an eye on Greifer. He's got some deep water torpedoes coming in on his starboard side that he does not yet know are there. His hydro is offline.
He's about to find out.
He's about to take 2 of them.
Yeah, he just took... Oh, yep, there it is. DCP. He's going to force him to back off. He's not spotted, though.
No, he's not.
So what does that mean? That means that the Yu Yang says, hey, I got 2 torpedo hits. They know they hit something. They don't know what. They're guessing it's probably going to be the Nevsky. They don't know how healthy he is because they can't see him.
Now, one of the things we haven't talked about, Zath, is that critical island up in B2 in the top left of the corner of the map. Sometimes we see teams push Des Moines up here, but what we're seeing today, Bonks has opted to push double Marseille up to this point of the map.
So I really like this position because the business end of the Marseille, of course, is their front. And by putting Fratstar and Ocean Man in these positions, it's really hard to dig them out. They basically are covering each other's sterns.
You put a Marseille
trying to conga line, but just barely missing.
Yep, Ocean with a big dodge there. Yeah, you put a Marseille on either side of this island and then just dare them to do something about it, and they are going to struggle. 160 point lead in building now for Bonks. Star D seeming to struggle with what are they going to do to try and get back in these caps.
They're going to have to find a way to make it happen. Now, there's a daring. Beldoran just got into B cap.
Yep,
so they're at least going to stop that point bleed.
They can hold back some of those points, but he's going to dive out of them, Zath. He dove in long enough to fire torps, then left immediately. He's not even radared.
No, but you can see the Des Moines using ASW planes to try to at least figure out where he's sitting.
Captain Benevolence.
I wouldn't be surprised if Beldoran was trying to go in to see if he could trigger a radar.
Could have maybe snuck in there, seeing if they could pop one. They might have an idea of where Disquarius is at the moment. Captain Benevolent is going to pick up C, but if I'm honest, if I'm Bonks, I'm going to let him have C, right? I've got such a commanding lead right now. The game is going to be won or lost at B, in my opinion, and they've still got to find a way to root out that Kremlin.
So here's the thing. Speaking of rooting out that Kremlin, in my opinion, the best way to do that is to get that C group pushing up to get behind him. But of course, that means there's a Gearing, a Nevsky, and a Montana that they're going to have to do. That's not not an easy task by any means.
To me, your other good option is using Beldoran here. His conga line torpedoes have the opportunity to really punish Honey Badger, and Beldoran looks to be taking that position.
Let's go take a look. What were those shells aimed at? Ah, Hooper.
Yep.
Hooper in the Ohio going in now.
Hooper's Ohio driving into mid. This is probably going to draw a tremendous amount of focus fire hate from Bonks. He's very exposed out here.
Yeah, well, we already saw at least one of the Marseilles firing at him. We got the Moskva as well firing at him. And Des Moines firing at him.
He's turning out now. Looks like he's going to decline to head in there.
Honey Badger's coming out. Now look at this. Beldoran smoking up and shooting.
and revealing the location of the Kremlin, but the Kremlin wanted that broadside shot on Hooper as he made the turn, and he got it.
Well, the thing is, Beldoran knows as soon as Honey Badger started moving, those conga line torps were going to fail.
Oh, yeah.
So at that point, what the hell?
It's all I can think of. He fires the regular spread as he's lit in there. Who's popped their radar? Back,
Pot's back up.
the Moskva popped his radar. So now Honey Badger's having to play the dodge game, seeing if he can avoid as many of these torpedoes as he can.
Big hit on Hooper there from Honey Badger.
Yep. Montana Shell's coming in.
And Montana, the 1-2 punch.
Another big salvo. I think they're going to lose Hooper for this play, Zath. But there's going to be a notable amount of damage going into Honey Badger. He's going to take 3, 4, all of them. Big kill from Beldoran. His torpedoes finally connect. First blood goes to STARD. So what do you think, Zath? You called it at the time. Did you like the Kremlin play coming out from around? I don't think he needed to.
It was a very aggressive play. Obviously, in hindsight, you can see what happened.
Yeah.
Hooper's going to go down either way.
I mean, he's powering through it right now because his heel is up, but when his heel goes down, he's going to be out.
Yeah. He's on double fire. There's his final defiant shots.
Yep.
Down he goes.
Vampire Deuce, that's Nacimiento into A. In a moment, Beldoran will be into B. It's a bit of a desperation time here for STARD. They've got to convert these caps and start holding these points back.
Right. That they do.
Disquarius getting farmed out, taking a tremendous amount of damage from astern.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. He's in smoke, but he's detected.
He's under radar. Nito's got him radared in there.
Right.
He's just now managed to eke out of it and put out his fires.
Right. Now is the part where you look for a battleship salvo to come from the other side. Oh, wait. The battleship's dead.
Yeah. Except for the Yamato. That's Floors that's about to drive directly into the B cap, and I think they're going to punch Squarius right in the face. He's already got his guns turned looking for this salvo.
Yeah, but Todd Howard's has got some torpedoes
as
well coming in.
I think Floors is probably going to end up with one of these in the bow. Actually, one on the belt. He's going to take one on the port belt right there.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for Squarius. They know Squarius is there. They've got him on fire again.
I don't even think they need Floors as Yamato.
I don't think they do. In fact, Floris just took his salvo at Griefer way over here on the 10 line. Squarius is repairing now, trying to get back into smoke. Lit again. This is
the hard part of competitive. You cannot declare a ship dead until it's actually dead.
No. And STAR needs this kill. They need to convert this kill on Squarius while they can. But I think there's so much focus fire going on Floors, they're probably going to lose him.
I don't like the decision of Floors to stop and reverse.
I think he should have just kept pushing.
Yes.
I mean, at this point, they're just going to burn him out for free. Yeah,
don't like this at all.
Both STARD battleships basically surrendering a tremendous amount of HP here in the middle of the board, and in the end, it costs both of them their ships.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like it was necessary.
No, I don't think they got anything. They didn't get anything out of either play, really.
The Ohio one at least just took the Kremlin out with the process, but
it was more about the Kremlin's mistake moving up than anything, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If the Kremlin had held back and held his position, I still think they would have killed that Ohio.
I agree. Well, regardless, 50 seconds to go.
Yep.
They're trying desperately to kill Disquarius still. Roquek now in the Stalingrad is coming under focus fire.
Yeah. Bonks is now seconds away from a win here. STARD desperately needs a kill to get a time extension.
Yeah. And match extension.
Yep. All these destroyers swanning around in the middle of the board. It doesn't happen. The daring goes down, and it's going to be a 2-0 sweep here for Bonks. They are moving on to day 4.
Okay. And I heard, apparently, you had a little reverb going on in this game. I'm not sure why.
Okay. I don't know either. We haven't changed anything, and we didn't do anything yesterday. I mean, we didn't have any yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Let me double check my setup now that we've got a moment.